Oh, so awkward. I forgot to change that logo, and I will forever live that one down. But welcome. It's Friday, May 20th, 2022, and this is Dan Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm Dennis, and I'll be your host as we review the latest Marvel happenings across all media, as well as other superpowered stories that caught our attention. And when I say we, I'm referring to my youthful co-host, Ricky.
Was that your first technical fuck up?
I knew I forgot something. I've been really busy this week, and I knew that I forgot. By the way, don't bother playing the spotlight video tonight. It's not correct.
Yeah, for listeners of our audio show, yeah, everything went well.
Yeah, for the audio show, no errors at all. But possibly for anybody watching, we had the wrong write-up for that episode just now. It was last week's episode. Oops. Oh well. Yeah, and I just I didn't remember to upload or I don't know if I even I think I did make the one for the spotlight. I could be hallucinating that. I think I prepped everything and
we'll find out.
I didn't do it. You know what? I know I didn't do it. So don't even try it. Nah, it's not, it's one of those weeks where it's like it's a weird week, but also like we're gonna talk about some weird stuff tonight. So like I don't think it's really gonna matter. I just appreciate anybody who showed up to hang out with us on a Friday night and talk nerdy and we have one person in particular who is taking time off from the comment section to actually be here in the hot seat with us. Let's get him on here. It's Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Welcome
I will be playing
back.
the role of Travis this evening.
Yeah.
Yes. It's my bad. I totally meant to change that logo.
I will do my best Travis impression.
The correct thumbnails on the YouTube and all those. So, it was an easy mistake. I got to thank you, Ian, for basically what I was kind of, referring to in a nice, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fantastic.
I guess fantastic way. No, I was trying to be coy and say it's a weird night. We got Ian to join us to talk about 2005's Fantastic Four. Starring...
This is how we treat our Patreon subscribers.
Yeah.
They give me the good stuff.
It is. So we gave him the assignment that we weren't sure most people would want to do. But we knew that he'd be down to clown because he does the homework anyways for our shows. When he's in the comment section, he watches whatever we say we're going to watch and he shows up. And so I was like, you're the only one I know that's going to do the homework. So, yeah. And then apparently you went above and beyond and you actually watched the
sequel. You watched both.
So we didn't ask you to do that.
Hey man, when you're sitting on the couch folding some laundry and you're already in the zone and one movie ends, it's like, and the other one's just kind of sitting there. You're like, you know what? I got another hour and an hour and a half to kill. Why not?
I refuse to pay money for that one. I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus again. It cycles. It comes back every now and then. So
worst part is I'm pretty sure I have it on a hard drive somewhere that I just literally was too lazy to get up and
I know.
check. So I was like,
I know that feeling.
$3.99?
Yeah.
Here you go.
That's why
for less.
That's why I stopped myself for that kind of stuff. But yeah, like formalities, a few more of them out of the way. Like I mentioned, Fantastic Four is what we're going to be talking about later. But before that, we will have some nerd news to discuss and a quick round of trivia to play. And I mean quick. That's why I didn't get you your videos, because I was still making trivia until about 10 minutes before we started this show.
How we typically do the show.
Yeah, no, well, usually I actually make it on Thursdays and stuff like that. But yeah, for those of you joining us live, don't be shy. We'll be checking the comments regularly. And if you can't get enough of us, you should visit patreon.com/denxmedia, where you'll find a variety of creative offerings, including recent episodes of our live after show, The Soapbox. Patrons get exclusive access to chat with us, but if that's not your thing, don't worry. We'll be releasing it to the public next week. I got to add on to that. Patrons also get other stuff sometimes. Ian, I have some physical things to give to you the next time I see you.
Whoa.
Because I'm too lazy to mail them because I know you live in the same town as me. But I am actually going to be selling prints of my toy photography at an art show in about a month. Nice. And I've got the early proofs already delivered to me. And my one of my other patrons, Dave, happened to actually drive down from San Francisco to visit this week. And I gave him first dibs of a few of the proofs. He actually asked me to sign them and stuff too. That was really funny. I'm like, I don't want to sign them on the front because it ruins the picture. But I have a bunch left. Yeah, I signed them on the back. I have a few that you can pick from later. I can send you pictures just so you can decide. But awesome. I figure, you know what, this is the kind of things that I should be doing for the patrons since you do stuff for me. You're a great fan, and we love having you all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You better be hanging up behind you the next time.
Hey, I was just gonna say next time you'll probably see him on that wall of space back there. But you know what? It being a patron for the show has always been rewarding. I love sitting in the soapbox and chatting with you guys and just enjoying the conversation and keeping it going. As there's been a couple nights where you guys have run long and I've been there the whole time. Keep doing it as long as I can.
And there's times where you can't keep up with us and we go way too long.
That's true. There was one night where it was like hitting midnight and I was falling asleep on the couch and I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to dip out of this one, I guess.
It's whenever Eric and Joel are on the show, that's when it's the worst.
Yeah.
But Travis keeps us up pretty late. And then Jason has done that with us a few times too. It's pretty
most
funny.
Of the time when I'm watching you guys, I'm sitting watching while I'm playing video games and it's like I'm going to be up anyway, so I keep the conversation in the background so I can just listen in and chime in with some comments here and there when the comments are allowing me to comment.
No problem.
Always
we appreciate it all, and it's just me trying to show some appreciation. I got some cool fan swag that it's not actually swag because it's not stuff we all get. It's just stuff you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next time, and hopefully that word gets out to the people that are watching right now.
Free shit.
Sometimes I give stuff to the subscribers. I wouldn't call it free shit because it's not free.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah,
it's stuff rewarding you for your patronage,
but you are helping us keep the lights on, so that is appreciated.
It's always appreciated.
Yes. Yeah. With that said, before we get into the news and stuff, I'm just curious, what's everybody been nerding out on this past week?
What you got, Ian?
Well, the wife and I started watching the first episode of The Stand. I've read that book 2 or 3 times when I was younger, so the source material is always pretty close to me. I'm a big Stephen King fan, so first episode was a good start. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm a little wary because I was reading a little bit more about some of the cast members, and I wasn't aware of Ezra Miller or Amber Heard's involvement. And given their recent situations, I'm like, man, do I watch this comfortably?
Oh no! You might have just steered me away from watching it.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky that I started it before I read that because now I'm sort of in.
Are you doing the free trial of Paramount Plus, or do you just have it like all the time?
Using a friend's account,
Okay, highly recommend before you stop using it. Reno 911, the newest movie. Oh, yeah. They take on QAnon. It's hilarious.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I love Reno. It was a great show. So
they got everybody to come back for that one. It was pretty good. Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb fun, but yeah. What about you, Ricky?
The only thing we watched this week was Hacks season 2. I think you like. Did you like Hacks?
I love Hacks.
The Vegas news like Hacks?
I did not watch the newest episodes today.
Mm-hmm.
But I did. We watched all of the ones from last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great show. It's an excellent show. If you haven't seen it, really funny, great acting. Jean Smart. I love her in everything, but I love her probably the most in Legion. Nah, probably more in Hacks. I think I like her more in Hacks, but she's close to my heart because of Legion. She's so great in that show.
I'll have to check out Hacks. I saw that she was in it, and I was sort of like, "Ooh, what's this?" But I haven't watched it yet. So.
Oh yeah, it came out last year on HBO Max, and we binged the crap out of that season, and then surprisingly, it just showed up. The funniest thing, because like I have like a really weird routine, like because my wife and I kind of watch our shows like while we eat meals most of the time, like and so it depends. Like if it's a small meal, I'll do a half-hour show. If it's going to be a big meal, I'll do an hour show or something like that. But no matter what, for some reason on Friday, I've just trained myself because I have all these other go-to apps, like I'll do Hulu or I'll do YouTube or Peacock or whatever the crap it is that we're trying to get throughout the week, Netflix, whatever. It doesn't matter. On Friday, the first thing I boot up is HBO Max because I trust them the most. And I trust that they'll always give me quality stuff, above all others. Yeah. So I booted it up last week, and I was like, "It's a win! It's a win! It's Hack season 2." So there it is, Nice. And so I did the same thing again today, and I was like, "Yeah, don't have time for this one right now." So we'll do it later. Whoa! Somebody likes Hacks.
Yeah.
For me, I've been watching a lot of trash TV. The Circle on the new season. The new season on Netflix. It's been back all month long. They've been divvying it up to make people wait. So they've been giving us 4 episodes a week, and then the final. They gave us the last 4 yesterday, except for the finale. The finale is 1 episode next week, but it's pretty entertaining. And they got the Spice Girls to be catfish for like I would say like 5 episodes. They were on the show. Like
the Spice Girls?
Yes.
Wow.
The Spice Girls, 2 of them, not all 5 of them.
Okay.
2 of them. But it was pretty damn entertaining because I guess they're fans of the show and they're really good at that show. They're really good at catfishing, man. It was impressive. I was quite impressed by them. But yeah, we've been watching that, and then I found out Eurovision was live on the finale was live on Saturday. So Saturday, about 5 minutes before it started, I got a month subscription to Peacock, and I was like, it is worth $10 to watch Eurovision for 4 hours. That it is so hilarious. If you've never seen a Eurovision contest, they're so funny. So I watched that with my wife, and then ever since then, we're trying to squeeze the value out of Peacock. So I binged MacGruber. Nice. So good. It's so good. That season is so hilarious. And then I've been binging AP Bio and a little bit of Killing It with Craig Robinson. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's pretty funny. It is a man gets pegged in the first episode. I was quite shocked.
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's how you do a streaming TV show where it's not
exactly
on network TV. I was quite shocked. But yeah, that's what I've been nerding on, other than Fantastic Four, I suppose.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, you got news you want to do, or you guys got anything else?
Well, news.
I got news. Let's do it. But yeah, last time we were here, no news. This time we got news.
There was more news than you didn't report. I said I'd call you out on it.
There wasn't that much. The only thing
the Amanda Waller show.
That's speculation. That is still speculation at this point.
You report on speculation all the time.
No,
that's true. You are Captain Speculation, Rick.
George Perez passed after our show that day. I think that was the only big news. That's kind of a bummer.
That was a bummer. I actually shed a tear or two because I just the amount of his contribution to the comic books that I read and loved is vast. It is quite impressive. But we did report early in January that that was going to happen. He knew it was coming. He declined to go through with the radiation and chemo treatments, and chose to spend the rest of his remaining time with his family. And so I think we had reported that was the case in January, and this was the inevitable conclusion of that. But R.I.P. He was great.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On the flip side, though, we got some new trailers, right?
Is that the flip side of death?
I'm still working on my pivots.
All right.
Keep
working on them for a while.
We got a new She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel trailer this past week.
Oh, really? I don't think I watched. I don't think I caught the new Ms. Marvel trailer.
Ms. Marvel one was yesterday. It's mostly reused, but there's some new tidbits in there.
Okay.
Look at that image. That image is like screaming awesome. Very colorful, cultural.
I mean,
I'm feeling this. Liking the direction this is going.
People had thoughts on the She-Hulk trailer. I kind of want to hear Dennis's take, because I know you're the biggest Shulky fan in here.
I love some She-Hulk. I loved how much that trailer reminded me of the comics that I read and loved. But I will get ahead of it before anybody else. The CG was bad, and I'm okay with that though, because I know that we've been shown early stuff before by Marvel, and it ends up looking better later. The biggest one was those stupid monsters in the Eternals. They looked way better when that movie finally came out versus the trailer. So they look significantly better. So I'm gonna say, hey, they had to show us an early cut of it, because people would have been pissed if we didn't see She-Hulk, right? We would have been pissed. So I'm gonna say wait and see. Like, what I saw, other than the CG of her talking, was great. So
I'll agree with you there. I enjoyed the tone. I enjoyed the little comedy bits. Everything was good except for the actual CG-ness of her.
Did you see the Frogman?
Yeah, the Frogman was great.
Yeah. I was quite surprised to see what I believe is Frogman, because I believe he's a Spider-Man character, Spider-Man family character. So maybe it's not Frogman, but I thought it looked like Frogman. Yeah, Toadman.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, as much as I absolutely loved Endgame, I thought some of Hulk's CG in there, Smart Hulk, was a little, I'll call it, off during some of the scenes. I mean, he still looked good, but I felt like the CG was a little off. And I felt like I was looking at the same situation with this when I watched the trailer, where it was like, it's not horrible. It's not like send them back to the chopping block.
Yeah.
There's a little something off.
We're super spoiled, because like, we're, for the first time ever, we're getting a comedy, a legal comedy, procedural comedy, with a fully green, super digitally enhanced character playing the lead, and we're like, it could look better, it's like,
I wonder, and this is like weird speculation, but like, you think they have like a threshold? Like, it just needs to look this good, and
yeah,
it'll
of course
be fine.
they do.
I don't think we'll ever get a Thanos again.
If you're in entertainment and you're doing serialized storytelling, like on a budget, there's always a threshold. Always.
A bar. Yeah.
Always. And so people just need to get on board with that. But I think I also think, conversely, as fans, we deserve a certain level of respect given to the character. So if she looks like, a QuickTime video that you're running on Windows 98, like, I think that's not doing her service, so
no,
we'll see.
I think she could look like this. That's not super like fucking sexist. I think she could look the way she's looking if the story is strong enough to support,
I have no problem with the way she looks, by the way. It's the frame rate when she's talking.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
think it could work if she has a great story and great cast of characters around her, but you kind of need both, or else it'll fail, right?
And I caught just brief glimpses of Jamila Jamil in there as Titania, and I got super excited because I love Jamila Jamil. But yeah, the character of Titania is just ridiculous. So like, it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be funny, and like, there's a lot of good She-Hulk stories that I have read that are just like absurd, and I would recommend them to more people, but the only problem is like most of them are written by dudes, and so she probably deserves to have more females writing her. And I think she does. Yes. I think she does nowadays. But I'm just saying, like, the character has come a long way from her original roots, and so I think it's fun to see that she's finally going to get her time in the light, and it's going to be very different from the Hulk. It's going to be very different.
Yeah. So all this D Plus news, by the way, I guess there was a Disney Plus event this past week where they showcased a lot of their new slate. So
yeah,
that's where all this is coming from. On the Disney Plus hype, we got our first look at the Echo show.
Yeah, looks like Echo.
That's in production. Yeah, it looks like Echo.
Yeah, looks like Echo.
She looks. Yeah, that's good.
The other bit of nugget that came out was they hired writers for the Daredevil show that is yet to be announced.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was reported by Variety, a trusted news outlet. But it from what it seems like is Daredevil will appear in the Echo show and then get his own spinoff.
I mean, that's been rumored for about a year, which we already reported on last year. When it was speculation, like you do all the time.
You guys broke that news.
Yeah, we broke that news.
So just following up on that article, on that blurb back then.
Yeah, we know Charlie Cox is down to clown, and I actually think it's kind of cool that he's getting a series instead of a movie, because I want the individual stories to be done that way from now on.
It'll do him justice, right? Like, it'll let him shine.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I think the kind of coolest thing about like the best Daredevil comics is their really long form storytelling, where when it's all done, you're like, whoa, that was crazy how all that came together. Kind of like The Wire, like the show The Wire and stuff. So you don't want to condense that into a 2-hour, like, oh, villain of the week kind of story. That's not really how Daredevil's stories work best. So I like that it's done in a TV show.
Also probably lend to like a softer reboot, because that kind of seems the direction that they're going in.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, he's not a hard character. Like, to be fair, none of these characters are immune to reboots, right? Like, that's kind of the nature of comic books. It's like they all get soft reboots every now and then, and so like, yeah, it works. It works if people if they want to retell, like, or if they want to tell a new take on, you know, Daredevil and versus Kingpin all the time that doesn't actually contradict any of the old stuff, but doesn't require it, that's fine too, you know. Like, the fact is, those two actors are amazing when they play Daredevil and Wilson Fisk. So let's play. Let's
bring Daredevil back from the dead, you know. Let's do it.
I would like them to figure out a better way to do Bullseye, though, because while I liked him in Netflix, he wasn't everything I needed him to be. So,
right.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Well,
but keep it going.
Speaking of back from the dead, terrible segue.
I mean, you're killing it. You should have done. You should have done this. The George Perez one should have come before this one. I don't know why.
Marvel struck a deal with the Stan Lee estate to feature Stan Lee's likeness, voice, and all that cool stuff in their media for the next 20 years. So yeah, expect some more Stan Lee in your Marvel throughout the years.
You know, I'm not going to mind it if it's using old recording, because he's said a lot of great things. But what I don't want them to do is like make new things that he says.
Yeah, I don't want a voice actor voicing Stan Lee. I want Stan Lee. At least I want to know it's original.
They're gonna plug it into the voice.
Oh no, I meant an AI. I don't want an AI doing Stan Lee. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Either way, I'm saying like I want legit Stan Lee quotes.
I don't mind because like I know a lot of people get angry about like how much like he really contributed to the creation of characters. That doesn't really matter at a certain point when you have like an empire as large as Marvel. Like it does matter to the creators. Don't get me wrong. Like anybody who ever does end up watching the show, I do care about your fair share, and I apologize. I don't care. I'm not apologizing. I feel bad for you that you got shafted the way you did if you're watching the show. But that said, he is a figurehead for that show or for that company. You know what I mean? He is a Walt Disney. He in the sense that he is the face of it. You know what I mean? And like you can trash talk him all you want about like what he stole or didn't steal, whatever. The reality is he was the hype man that got people on board.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he did it. And so he got me on board. He got me like with like every time he narrated the intro of a Spider-Man cartoon, I just felt like, okay, I want to know what's going on with this story. Like what's this? And it's just what he did. So
no, I mean, if Marvel was a band, Stan Lee would be the lead singer. Like he may not have written the songs, he might not have composed that bass track, but he's the face that He's
exactly.
He's the one that's getting that's bringing in people, that's keeping the business alive.
Yeah.
And that face comes at a cost.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah,
it does.
I mean, I'm sure by you.
When this was actually something I was going to bring up when we start talking about the movie, but when Stan Lee shows up in those cameos, like my heart grows 2 sizes. Like I'm like, oh, there's my boy, So if they want to continue with him as bringing him into that, I'm fine with it.
You think there's a Stan Lee spreadsheet of like how much should we pay for Stan Lee?
Oh, I'm sure.
You think there had to have been a number?
Yeah, but the thing with that is like I bet they didn't even reach that number. Like I bet his value is too great for them.
Yeah.
That like, just because there's a spreadsheet doesn't mean they actually came in at the highest number,
No, yeah.
So
if you can get it and you can afford it, why not? Why not get more Stan Lee in your life, right?
It's in all of their best interest, honestly. It's good for Stan's estate and his legacy. It's good for Marvel because he has been and will continue to be the face of their product. He's a touch point. I mean,
and the reality,
that being said, go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the reality is like there's always gonna be people that are upset by decisions like that to like include him and stuff, but like they've also run the numbers on that, and they know that it's probably like way more people that feel something special because of it. You know what I mean? Like so, like everybody's gonna hate some move that they do all the time.
Real quick, let me read up so it gives Marvel permission to use Lee's name, voice, likeness, and signature in movies and television products, as well as to use existing images and footage and audio recordings of him. The rights to use the name, voice, likeness, and signature in theme parks is also theirs. So
that's where I would imagine he'd be used the most, and and it'd be cool. Like I think they used his voice in the Florida Spider-Man ride. I could be wrong.
He is, right? Yeah, I've seen
he is.
The ride-alongs there.
I mean, even if you think about what they could do with it, it's kind of cool. Like if they set up at one of the theme parks or something. If they set, I was gonna say if they set up sort of a museum for the history of a character or something, and they have some archival footage of him talking about when they created that character. Just walking up to a thing about Spider-Man, pressing a button, and have Stan give the story of when they came up with something.
Exactly.
That right there pays for itself. That's the kind of touch base you want. Is he is that living history? Well, not living, I guess.
Yeah, anymore. It's just like like the Marvel 616 episodes. You know what I mean? Like it was really they were fun, but I think some of them didn't have a lot of actual Stan Lee stuff in them because they were probably made after he already passed and stuff. And so like I was really I've seen the footage before, but like the Japanese Spider-Man, like when they were talking about that one, they they got to tell those actors how much Spider-Man, like how much Stan Lee loved that version of it, and the guy starts breaking down crying. But it was one thing removed, right? Because they couldn't just show him Stan saying it, even though it's recorded and stuff, just because, you know, for rights reasons and stuff. And so, like, it would be nice to have those things interspersed into their media when relevant, you know. The extra punch, that emotional punch.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily know if I want Stan tied to everything, cameoing everything. And,
exactly. Yeah, I don't need that.
Again, by year 20, that's what it'll be, because you gotta get your money's worth at that point.
I don't want them weekend at Bernieing.
Oh, they're gonna.
They are. We know this, but I don't want them to do that. But at least if they use them tastefully for the first few years and then move to that, I won't mind so much.
I think the definition of tastefully is a sliding scale. For sure.
That's true.
For sure.
We have some Legends news, right?
We do have some Marvel Legends news. Marvel Hasbro team decided to try things a little different this week. They wanted to be more hip for the younger audiences. So instead of doing their normal YouTube stream, they did a stream on Instagram Live, and boy was it clunky. It was so clunky. They were not ready for it. Their mics weren't great. Like they were using the 16:9 format. They were kind of just drone off every now and then, like forgetting to stay near the mic and stuff, and it was pretty funny. But they showed a bunch of toys, and I'm here to talk about them because I love them. And the first one is we're once again, they're just drip feeding us this entire wave of Infinity Ultron figures. It's about once a month they're showing us one figure from the wave, and they were really funny the way they introduced this one, because they said, "Hey everybody, you know, we just saw a trailer, and you know, we just saw we for a new popular Marvel heroine, and we just figured, you know, let's do a figure of Sharon Carter." And so that it was a really awkward way to debut it, but and I know a lot of fans in the collector communities that I've been reading on are like hard pass, you know, but like I like her.
If you want Ultron's head, bro, you got to buy it.
I was just exactly. They were smart with the pairing, because they're like, you know what? How do we get rid of Ultron's head, or how do we get rid of all these Sharons? Put the head on there.
Head and the sword.
Although, to be fair, anybody who's a really hardcore Sharon hater could just get the rest of the Build-A-Figure and put Vision's head on it.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, it's a Sharon Carter figure from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I know. I'm just enabling the haters, okay, Ian. That's all. I'm here to support all audiences.
This is good. It's feeding the collector audience. I see.
It's Sharon Carter with her signature sticks that I don't remember her using.
Well, there's a knife there too.
There's a knife.
Yeah, I just want her shooting people like she did in the show, but whatever, it's fine. She doesn't even have trigger fingers. And then, as I was talking about, it's almost like I coincidentally did. Marvel released another figure for the Beyond Spider-Man celebration.
Guy is cool.
It's the Takuya. I think people like to call him Spider-Man, which is actually what it says over there on the box. It's the Japanese TV show 1978 Spider-Man, done on a different body to actually like make it look more like cloth and stuff. He's actually he's got the Reed Richards torso, because it's kind of like a stretchy looking like spandexy thing, and they even went to the trouble of making sure that his webs were not translucent and they're fully painted white, just like the ropes in the old TV show.
That's cool.
Does this thing flip up?
Does his thing flip up?
The gauntlet or whatever?
No, it doesn't flip up, I don't think, in that thing. And then they made it a point of showing he has these weird hands that kind of like, you know, they're not fully wall crawling hands. If you see his left hand there or his right hand, it's kind of like halfway splayed out. And then he does not come with web shooter hands, because that Spider-Man does not shoot his webs that way. Yeah, they were big time nerding out on it. But I think there was one question that everybody wants to know about him is, does that mean we're gonna get Leopardon? And I think that's That's all anybody wants to know. I would love that to be the next HasLab. Just do it. just show me where I give you all the money so that I can have a giant Super Sentai transforming robot for my Spider-Man to go inside of.
I feel like you get the car first.
Yeah, I mean, they made a Hot Wheels version of that car last year, I think, at one of the conventions, or 2 years ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there was more Spider-Mans to talk about. This sucker was a Target exclusive, and I'm just putting it out there right now. My favorite figure of whatever year it actually ends up coming out in. Dude, we're not sure. We're not sure if this is actually going to be released this year. Target didn't say, but it is a Target exclusive that, as of today, was still available. The Bombastic Bagman. I freaking love him because it's Spider-Man wearing a Fantastic Four suit with no shoes and a paper bag on his head and a removable "Kick Me" sign on his back to celebrate that one moment in the comics where he had to get rid of his Venom suit and he was naked and had to figure out a way to get home. And Johnny helped him out by giving him a suit, but also
is there a head under the bag, or is it all
one piece? It's all one piece, but there is a head, but it's glued together so that they only painted the eyes on the head, is what they said. Yeah, it's really cool. And you could pop that whole head off and put a Peter Parker head on there if you wanted to. Or you could have Johnny Storm without shoes on, or Reed Richards without shoes on, whatever. It's great. I love this figure so much.
That is an amazing figure. I want that one.
And then also on a retro card to continue with that little Fantastic Four retro card set that they started doing, and to kind of maybe, tie in with some other stuff going on, they announced a Fire Lord figure, which was another Herald of Galactus. He'll be coming soon with his fiery Q-tip that he holds. I don't know what it is. It's his weapon. And yeah, I just wanted to remind people that he'll look nicely with the other heralds that will be coming with Galactus. And so there's some in production photos that the lead designer Dwight Stahl took recently, just showing the scale of everything going on right now. That's Galactus is coming. He's coming soon, and he's got more and more heralds to show him off. And then on a brand new retro card that they've made. They're now celebrating the old school Toy Biz Iron Man line by having a new retro card of those figures. This is a redeco of the War Machine that came out last year or 2 years ago, Ricky?
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's a redeco, and he's cool. He's got like a pearlish white thing, but he's got less accessories. But it's War Machine. He looks cool. And then Ricky, I did provide you a slide just to see, so you can see the differences there. You get a lot less stuff in this version, but he's also cheaper. So he doesn't come with the roadie head, but they've promised that the roadie head will fit on him. He doesn't come with the blast effects, all the blast effects. He comes with some. But yeah, if you didn't pick up the old one as an option, or if you like the white as an alternative, it's another option too. Yeah. And then
who are these?
Here it is. The convention exclusive for this year. This would be their Comic-Con exclusive. They didn't say it's not their Comic-Con exclusive, but it's because they like to, every year they try and do like 2 convention-y type box sets. And one's usually comic book related, and the other's usually MCU related. The comic book one, they unveiled it this week. It is Mojo World box set, designed to look like an old school cathode ray tube TV, and also have some Mojo World TV guides and a TV remote. This set comes with a lot of stuff from Mojo World, including the first Hasbro long shot figure ever, and the Outback Dazzler, as well as X-Baby's Wolverine.
What is Mojo's World?
Mojo World is the world in which Mojo lives, and he is a media mogul who runs the entire media empire and controls everything that people see and experience in his universe. He does not live in our universe, Mojo.
Okay.
Yeah, he usually kidnaps the X-Men and brings them to his universe for his entertainment. That is what Mojo does.
Sounds like a cool guy.
And Longshot was born in Mojo World and is the biggest action star of that universe. But when the ratings start declining, that's when Mojo tries to start stealing the X-Men from the other universe and stuff. So, and then there he is, the actual megalomaniac himself. It's the first ever Hasbro Mojo. It is awesome looking.
That is cool.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. And the weirdest thing about all of this, though, is it already went up for pre-order yesterday. Like, they're not. I don't know if this is a Comic-Con thing also, but like,
they're like, no one's gonna buy this.
No one's gonna buy this. What do you mean?
That's amazing. Everybody's gonna want
so good. Look, he's got alternate heads and hands. Every single spider leg on his thing has multiple points of articulation. You can actually pose him to look like he's crawling in any different direction you want. The tail articulates. The little laser at the end of the tail articulates. He is nuts. He's pretty cool. I love it. I love it.
Looks pretty good.
And then, there's the whole offering that you get. By the way, even the X-Babies Wolverine figure, I know a lot of collectors have been calling it a slug because it's like slugs are usually a figure that doesn't move. They were showing at the panel that figure actually does articulate at the head a lot. It's pretty weird. But yeah, there's a side-by-side comparison of the old school Toy Biz one versus the new one. And yeah, he's pretty big. The new one's pretty big compared to the old one. Yeah, and they said they're still working out the liver spots paints to match a little bit better, but we'll see. We'll see. I love it. It's super cool. And then just today, they wanted to remind people that they have this animated X-Men series of figures, and they did a little tease for the next one in the line. It's the one everybody's been wanting for a long time, but only if you ever watch the show. It's Morph. I have nothing to say about that other than it's Morph. It's Morph. It's Morph. I know a lot of people are mad because they know without even seeing the figure in the box, they know that he's going to be painted with cell shading style, and people have been wanting their own regular Morph. But like, I've seen the fun argument that like this character was created exclusively for the cartoon. He's never existed outside of the cartoon. So why shouldn't he look like the cartoon?
The cartoon.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a good argument. I'm into it.
I like the argument. It's cool, but collectors find something to bitch about everything. So what are you going to do?
Of course.
But yeah, no date and time on when the Morph is going to be available. It's just it was just a fun tease they put out there for today because, like I told you, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends, every month on the 20th they will be announcing something, and so that's what today is. So there we go. Yeah, 20 years I've been doing that, and so. Wow. I can't help but talk about them whenever I see them because I love them. Like at this point, the collection itself is the prize. It's not each individual figure. It's the fact that they all exist at once. Like that's the cool part about it. So
I'm gonna have to read up on Morph.
Oh, you actually can't read up on Morph. You can only watch
up on Morph and read up on Mojo.
You don't know Morph, huh?
I've never seen the X-Men show.
Oh, he dies in the first episode.
Oh, okay.
He's
that's kind of the whole.
That's his whole thing. He just
dies.
Yeah, that's his thing, dude. He's like they had an X-Men that died, and for kids in the '90s watching the first episode of an X-Men cartoon, and then to suddenly see an X-Men die, you're like, whoa. And we didn't care that we didn't really know who Morph was. Like,
he just knew you needed to feel for him.
It just raised the stakes. It was like, hey, people are gonna die now.
Yeah. And then nobody ever dies ever again. And then Morph comes back to life later in multiple seasons, and he's evil and all these things. But actually, I think he came back at the end of the first season, or at least the second season. But he does come back, so it's not like it's not like they only made the character for one episode ever. It's just that was the purpose of him, was to serve as the catalyst for the story that follows. And then it's a really tight story for the next like 5 seasons. It's pretty impressive. If you never watched that show, it's actually really good.
It's on the list.
Yeah. All right. So we don't have the fun intro for it, but I think. Oh wait, no, we do. Sorry, it's time for a trivia. We got to do trivia before we do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You almost skipped it.
You can. Yeah. I was ready to jump ahead. I do have a trivia for you guys today. It's not. There's nothing graphics. No fun things to show you at the moment. What I just wanted to do was legit nerd trivia where I'm going to test you guys.
Okay.
So we watched the movie, all of us, this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't help but notice that one of those actors looked strangely familiar, and to a character that has been a really big part of the MCU.
The Shield?
No, I'm talking about Chris Evans.
He has a shield.
Oh, I'm confused. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. You know, like we joked about it a lot when Captain America first came out, that it's like the Human Torch is Captain America. This is so weird and stuff like that. You know, but as the MCU has progressed, it's gotten crazier and crazier. Like so many actors have joined the MCU, and what's really funny is like Chris Evans is not by a long shot the only one to make that crossover. So what I'm going to do, don't name them, please.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is a trivia where I'm going to test you guys. You're going to go back and forth, taking turns, trying to name all of the other MCU actors that have starred in other Marvel movies.
Oh man.
Okay.
They have to be as I want to say as different characters, but I don't know that I'm necessarily mad about the idea of just letting you go a little further than that. So why don't you try to do as many as you can where they play different characters, and then we can do the cheating multiverse ones if you need to.
Okay.
Yeah. Every time we get to these trivias, my brain immediately starts to just go completely blank right about now.
Well, that's awkward because you're going to go first. You're going to go first, and Chris Evans is off the table. I want you to just name any one actor that has been in MCU story that has also been in a previous Marvel movie.
All right. Man, this is totally tough.
They don't have to have been in the MCU before the Marvel or vice versa.
Right,
it's just like, I'm just saying previous because I don't want you to like naming people for movies that are gonna come out next year or 10 years from now or whatever. Like just existing movies, MCU. They have to have played a character in MCU and then played a different character in some other Marvel movie. Or
character. This is tough because I'm not coming up with many right now, and I know there's a lot. Not a lot, but a few good.
Okay. Ones. Do you want me to let Ricky go first?
Yeah, please do, because
okay, like Ricky, you got this. You can go first.
It's Mahershala's first one, right? Technically.
Are you guessing Mahershala right now?
It is Mahershala. He was in Eternals in some capacity, and then he was also in Luke Cage.
Those are both MCU. I don't count them.
I don't know if Luke Cage is MCU.
It still is.
Okay.
It is.
Does Aaron Taylor Johnson count? He's gonna be
his upcoming movie.
Yeah,
I literally just got done saying "gonna be" doesn't count.
Okay.
I literally just said use previously.
I mean, it's happening. Shit, this is hard.
My God, It's really not as hard. We have watched so many stupid movies over the past year and a half, and you can't do this. Really,
I know people like who have been crossed over. Shit. Let's think of Spider-Man first.
I'm going to give each of you guys a lifeline, so I can give you one hint.
Okay.
So I'm going to give Ricky. Do you want to use your lifeline now?
No. Give it to Ian.
Okay.
Oh, am I still going first?
Yeah, you're still going because I thought you'd do this better.
Okay, I thought I would, but yeah, you threw a monkey wrench in my stuff.
You know what? Fine, I'll give you Mahershala because he played two different characters, and it just so happened they were both in the MCU. I'll give you Mahershala for now.
Okay.
And then Lindsay might have been right. She said this would be her nightmare because she can't name famous people. So back to Ian. Let's go. I think this is hilarious, guys, considering, the last thing we were watching before today's episode, just the last episode that we did with Travis. So weird. I can't remember what show or movie we were talking about 2 weeks ago.
I remember I didn't watch 2 weeks ago because I did. Oh wait, no, I did watch 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
It's almost like we had a double feature. Like we talked about two things.
Ethan Hawke's been in MCU stuff before?
Oh my god, I hate you so much. No. All right.
Oh, it's Oscar Isaac. It's duh. There's one. The one.
The one, huh? Well, I'm gonna give you that one and count off you don't get your Mahershala now because you skipped Ian's turn.
I think it's a collaborative effort at this point.
Yeah, Jesus, people, Oscar. Yeah, seriously, Travis, that was.
You try to forget one of his roles. Let me remind you.
Ian, do you need a lifeline?
I do.
Okay, how about he was in Deadpool 2.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, Thanos and Cable. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
You mean fair. Josh Brolin?
Yes, Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Josh Brolin. There you go. Ricky, back to you. You guys are just sucking so hard.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard.
By the way, while you're thinking about your next answer, Ian, think about that movie that you paid $3.99 for. Also,
that's what I'm going through the cast of that in my head right now. Literally,
who's the Silver Surfer? Was he?
It was Doug Jones.
Yeah, Doug Jones. Who
was acting him and Lawrence Fishburne that voiced him?
Okay, so that counts.
And that's why I'm trying to run through do we have
that counts? Lawrence Fishburne was an Ant-Man.
Lawrence Fishburne was an Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Ian, he just stole yours.
Okay. Well, that's okay though because what's his name? Oh my God, Ray Stevenson.
Oh, that's a good one, Ian.
Who's
Good
that?
Good job. He's Volstagg in the Thor movies, and he's also the Punisher in War Journal. That's a good one. I didn't have him on my list.
I liked that Punisher a lot. So
yeah, that's a good one, Ian. Good job.
Isn't Kyle Urban in Blade?
Carl Urban?
Carl Urban in a Blade movie? No,
I don't remember Carl Urban in the Blade movie.
I mean, well, if you want to, I guess Ryan Reynolds doesn't count. He was in Blade, right?
Ryan Reynolds was not in an MCU movie
yet.
Again, that's the rules of the game. You play by the rules.
Damn it. Who else?
Man, you guys are hilarious.
It's hard. It's hard to think about it off the top.
What about Fant Forstick?
Oh, Michael B. Jordan?
God, I just got to give you lifelines all day long.
Really that's right.
Yeah. Again, other movies we try to forget.
I got Jon Favreau.
Thank you, Ian. That's an excellent guess.
Who's the guy? Who's the leader in the Hulk movie? What's his name?
Thunderbolt Ross?
No, the guy who plays the leader.
Drunk Travis says Ryan Reynolds does count, but no, he does not. It is not MCU adjacent if it references a media property.
The guy who plays the leader or helps him out, he is also in Fant Forstick. He is.
Oh.
He plays technically the guy who becomes Mole Man, I believe. That's his character's name, but there's no Mole Man in it. But yes, he is in it. I remember being on that Reddit when that movie came out to like find all the spoilers, and he stuck out to me.
I wish you knew his name. That would be really cool.
He was also in Watchmen.
I know who he is, but it's fine. Since I am looking him up right now, but pretty lame. Now we're just laming the guy who blah blah blah.
Yeah, the guy who did that.
The guy who did that.
The mirror face dude, right?
Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah.
Tim Blake Nelson. All right.
I like him.
That's fair enough. He is. I just checked.
Well, give us your list.
Good job.
I feel like we're not gonna.
What? There's so many more.
There are.
Really? You should. Travis says you should just say Sam Jackson because he's literally in every damn universe. He was one of the first ones I thought of, and he's actually not in other Marvel movies. He's in the spirit. But he's not in another Marvel movie that I could find. All right, I'll give Ian another hint because it's still Ian's turn, so Ricky doesn't get to decide.
Okay.
But how about it was Agatha all along?
Catherine Hahn was in something else Marvel?
Yeah, she was.
I'm not.
So was everyone else in that movie. If you think about it.
Not really, actually.
At least two more people.
What other thing was she in?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh!
Yeah, you got Haley Steinfeld.
I guess that
Oscar
counts.
Isaac again.
Well, hold on, Ricky. You said you were done. You said you were done, but you just
I know.
got
I'm helping Ian out, man.
I see. All right. Well, Ian's turn again.
Also, Kingpin, right? In that movie.
No, because he's not been in an MCU.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are we counting the Netflix shows?
I am, because the Marvel Wiki still says, or the MCU Wiki still says they are MCU.
Okay, then because I said MCU Thunderbolt Wiki. Ross earlier, Sam Elliott.
What else? Sam Elliott was Stick. You're right.
And so,
yeah, you're correct. Sam Elliott.
Because he's gruff and awesome, and you should put him in everything.
Yeah. Fun fact: you missed another. He's also in Ghost Rider, the first movie.
Oh, is he?
He is.
I haven't. I didn't rewatch that one when you guys did. That was one of the ones I didn't get to do.
Ricky, fun clue.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the second Ghost Rider movie?
Oh, it's not Idris, is it?
Yep.
Is it Idris? Yeah.
And that movie came out after Thor.
Yeah, they got a good deal on Idris.
Yeah. Does can I throw? I don't even know how to say his last name. Ross Marquardt or whatever that.
Ross Marquand?
Yeah, but the guy that took over for Red Skull.
What else are you referencing?
Didn't he do a voice for What If?
What If? He did the same voice, right?
Did he do the same voice?
Yeah. It's still MCU though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I guess it would be. They would both be. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Outside of MCU, that's right.
I'm just checking to see who you're missing. You got a lot. You guys got a lot of them. You got almost all of them with a lot of help from me. And you got some I didn't have on this list.
Who's missing?
Possibly somebody from Spider-Man Homecoming. Who may have also been in that same Hulk movie that was being referred to by Ian. Ian was referring to a Hulk movie.
I was referring to a Hulk movie.
Yeah. There might be somebody who was in that and Spider-Man Homecoming.
Like a B-list actor?
Whoa.
Like,
dang, Ricky.
Possibly married to another MCU actor.
Oh, now you're just getting confused.
Yeah.
Probably married to an MCU actor. Probably married to the MCU actor who's been in more MCU things than any other actor.
You say that like
you said it last year. That's what I'm saying. You said Vision has been in more things than anybody else, right?
Oh, I just got one.
Oh, so Vision is married to I know this because Vision was brought up in the stupid Johnny Depp trial.
I know he was.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Who is Paul Bettany married to?
Ian, do you know? I'll let you steal it.
I feel like I should know this, but because I think
somebody in Spider-Man Homecoming, possibly named Karen.
The voice of Karen?
Yeah.
Who voices Karen?
Was, but
you guys don't know who voices Karen, huh? Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, I did. I did not know that.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly.
I couldn't tell you what Jennifer Connelly looks like in a picture.
Wow.
What?
You clearly didn't grow up when we did.
Career opportunities.
I clearly didn't grow up when you guys did.
And you clearly don't remember Betty Ross from the Hulk.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
She's Betty Ross in the Hulk. All right. Well, this game was way more challenging. Thank you, Lindsay, for warning me. I thought this would be more complicated. I do have one bonus one. I'd like to see if you guys or Travis could get it. It was a cameo. By the way, I don't count Stan Lee. Just so you know, that doesn't count. Like that doesn't count. But there is a cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 by someone who has previously been in a Marvel TV movie.
TV movie?
Yes.
Nathan Fillion. No. Oh wait, did you say Guardians 2?
I said Guardians 2.
You said Guardians 2 post credit, right?
I didn't say post credits.
I think you did.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Post credits.
I didn't, but I like that you think I did.
Is it Kurt Russell?
No.
Oh, I got.
Do you know, Ian?
No, I don't. I just thought of another one though.
Ian, by chance, do you remember who originally played Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. before Sam Jackson did?
Shit. Yeah.
David Hasselhoff. There it goes.
Stupid Hoff.
The Hoff has been in the Marvel family longer than most people have. That movie sucks, by the way. And speaking of sucky movies, do you want to do the spotlight now, guys?
Hang on, I just thought of another one. Let me drop it.
You have another one?
I have another one, and it's a good one too. Clancy Brown.
That's pretty good, Ian.
Voice of Surtur and the military guy in Daredevil.
Well, that's
the military guy.
I can't remember his role.
MCUs.
No, not
Daredevil's MCU.
Oh, wait.
But I'm fairly certain we could find something else.
Clancy Brown's been in something else, yes.
I will take. He's probably been in a Marvel animated movie, honestly.
That's why I was gonna look.
There's like a 99% chance you're accidentally correct.
That he's there.
Clancy Brown. Yes. Yeah. He was I'm not even doubting it. Like when you say it, I'm like, yeah, he probably most likely. Yeah. I didn't have it written down, but yeah, definitely.
He's had to have done a voice in something.
Well, good job, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great game. I like that one.
You did not like that one. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun, particularly because like the place that I found that list had just been updated last month because Oscar Isaac just
Oscar Isaac
just updated the list. But they honestly did not have some of the ones you guys have, so I was pretty impressed. The list only had 10 of them, including Chris Evans. They did not have Ray Stevenson, Haley Steinfeld, Sam Elliott, or Clancy Brown. And I think for cheating purposes, they did not also have Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield, because one could argue that those are part of the MCU now.
I was thinking about saying something like
or Willem Dafoe or Willem Dafoe,
but I felt that was cheating because it's
they play the same character. Yeah. They play the same character. Yeah.
And that was the thing, is the stipulation was playing a different character. So
I
put my Alfred Molina away. I put it back in a drawer over here and was like, all right, I'll save that for another time.
It was a lot of them. The other one that I almost had on the list was Lou Ferrigno, but I did the math, and actually he did play the Hulk every time. He also is a security guard in The Incredible Hulk, but he also plays the voice of the Hulk up until Age of Ultron. He was the voice. Mark Ruffalo took over the voice after Age of Ultron.
I remember that. I remember that was the thing. He would still do the grunts.
Yeah. Well, because after Age of Ultron, the Hulk became Smart Hulk and started talking more, right? So
yeah.
So that's why. Ragnarok is when he started having more lines, is what it was. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm done with this. I appreciate you guys for entertaining me with this. I had fun watching you struggle. But let's struggle by talking about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We can pretend that we just played Spotlight music right there. It was the excellent point.
There it is.
The Fantastic Four.
Okay, we've waited long enough. It's time to put a spotlight on Fantastic Four from 2005.
Wow.
Before we do, I guess spoiler warning. Anybody. Okay, let's be real. Anybody who didn't see it in 2005, you're lucky. But also, you still know what the plot of this movie is without ever seeing it. It's pretty damn straightforward. But just in case you somehow missed it, and I know my wife missed it actually.
Really?
She only watched the last 20 minutes of it with me today, and had no context at all, and was coming back and forth into the room. So I'll give her the summary, I guess, because she's probably the one person watching our show that hasn't seen this movie. The summary for, I'm going to put quotes around astronauts, have their lives changed forever when they end up being hit by a cloud of cosmic radiation. Reed Richards now has the ability to stretch his body like elastic. Sue Storm is now the Invisible Woman, although they call her girl at one point in the movie and she gets offended by it. Johnny Storm becomes the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm becomes the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, a man made out of rock. But there is one problem. The Journey's sponsor, Victor Von Doom, has also been affected with full power, and with full power is a dangerous force which needs to be stopped before it's too late. I mean, that's pretty much the movie. It's like, you guys want to talk about other stuff?
First, the technical definition of an astronaut is a person who is trained to travel in space.
Yeah, right.
So I mean, it's a very loose,
right?
Loose.
I feel like they imply that Johnny may have been one and Ben may have been one.
They
but
were
them
like
other
pilots.
two,
they definitely have baggage.
Pilots.
Those other two are definitely not astronauts, or I mean the other three. The guy sponsoring the trip, why is he flying out there too? I don't know.
I mean, we live in a world where Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos both have been to space. So a rich dude going to space in his own thing.
Dude going to space, fine. But weird. By the way, there's nobody on that space station when they get there.
That's weird too.
That's like an unmanned space station. What the hell is that?
That was one of my first thoughts when I were running around. I was like, so literally it's just the 5 of them?
It's 5 There's people not even
like a dude to keep it running.
They arrive only hours before the cosmic event that they went there to witness is about to start.
It's called efficiency.
only hours before.
Why
then,
longer?
Sure enough, when they send the one person out into the spacewalk by themselves, because that's normal, you just send the one. It turns out the cosmic radiation event that they were going to monitor is way ahead of schedule, and it's coming now. I don't understand. So I think this is my biggest problem with the movie, and it sounds like I'm actually hating on it a lot, which I can easily. But surprisingly, I actually really liked this movie watching it this week. I found it less offensive than I did as a younger version of me. I was willing to forgive it for a lot of stupid things, but the thing I wasn't willing to forgive it for was the massive amount of plot holes. There are so many plot holes in this movie that make no sense, and it's just an excuse to get from point A to point B. And it just made me sad because that's what comic book movies were back then.
Were.
And I'm not going to say there's not plot holes in movies nowadays, but they're massaged a lot more than the plot holes are in this movie.
Like the previous the most recent Fantastic Four movie,
Fan-4-Stick.
Up until the transformation happens, I kind of like this movie. It feels like an MCU movie. This with the quips and the quickness. And
for me, it's the opposite. I actually like this movie once the transformation happens.
Really? It's because the middle for me dragged on so much. When they're figuring shit out, that took forever. And it was still fun and quippy, but holy shit, that movie slows down in that time. A lot.
I didn't feel like it slowed down a lot. I felt like they were having fun exploring the powers, which was something that the Fan-4-Stick movie didn't really allow you to do. I felt like Fantastic Four is supposed to have a lighter tone than a lot of superhero movies because they're always superhero characters. They're always billed as Marvel's first family, so they do have family problems and stuff like that, but they also have family fun too. You know what I mean? And so I really liked the silly fun that they were having with their powers because they just got accidentally bombarded by space radiation, and then they got weird, freaky powers. And the scientists in them were like, we should probably figure out what's happening here. But the non-scientist people were like, let's go have fun. And for that, I love Chris Evans. I love him so much in this movie for just signing up to be the guy that has fun through the whole movie. He made it easier for me to have fun watching the movie, So I like all the silly middle. Was the story great? No, it's basically as soon as bad stuff happens, they then set out to try and fix it for the rest of the movie, and it creates for a very unheroic story because you're just trying to save the guy. Yeah,
there are not really any stakes.
No,
there's no stakes.
Really, and again, and I think that's okay because it is the Fantastic Four. They're, like you said, they're the Marvel's family, so they can have the stakes literally be family drama type stuff. But
but I feel like the cool part about the Fantastic Four in the comics is they have family drama stakes and universe ending stakes at the same time.
It wasn't a universe. It was just Doom was
on the street.
Doom
trying to kill them.
Being Doom.
Knocking over some cabs.
He was literally just trying to kill them on the street. And I was like, this is your climactic end?
And it was really
weird.
It felt incredibly low stakes. And I know that some of the recent conversation around Doctor Strange is that there was, minimal stakes, even though it spread across, the multiverse and stuff. And I feel like this was one of those where I was sitting there going, speaking of low stakes, this is literally oh, what? You might knock Ben over. It was literally that low on the stakes side of things.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But
it was so low stakes. It felt like it fit what?
It felt like it fit in a first Fantastic Four movie, where it doesn't necessarily need to be an intergalactic or big threat. It's that family drama. But then, I would then expect for a follow-up to go, bigger, which
Yeah, you get the poop cloud in the sequel.
To some degrees, they did, and maybe didn't successfully.
The poop cloud is the poop cloud is Green Lantern.
Poop cloud's Green Lantern. This
Sorry,
is
you get the other cloud,
space cloud.
Yeah, space cloud.
Yeah. I will like I like this the low stakes thing. I won't forgive the movie for because like it just felt cheap. It felt that like they ran out of money or something, and so like. Yeah. But what the weirdest thing about that is like they actually did not run out of money. The opposite happened after the success of The Incredibles. Fox was so determined to make sure that this movie succeeded that they increased the budget for the movie. Not to say they can't run out of, not to say they can't run out of budget, even after the budget is raised. It just feels like, yeah, you can't tell because like every time Reed Richards did anything, I was just like, that looks horrible. That looks awful.
But they went for it though. Like I have to applaud them.
They didn't though. They didn't though. They did the tightest shots ever.
Yeah,
so they did a lot of tight shots.
More so than like
they would set the camera in one place, focus on the thing, and then they would imply a lot of crazy stretching was going on around him. But they would never just zoom out really far and show a Reed Richards stretching. Even when he's like,
we haven't even got that. We didn't get that in the sequel, and we haven't gotten that in.
No, we got it in the sequel.
We got it in the sequel. He did a lot more crazy stuff in the sequel.
When the Ferris wheel is tipping over, he's all intertwined in it and holding on to it. So
you mean
you do get
his hand under the door? Wasn't like your cup of tea?
No, I actually like that. Other than the lighting and the shadows looking wrong, but that the hand through the door was probably my favorite effect that he did in the whole movie because you got to see it actually happen all the way through. The one that really pissed me off was like when he's like falling off the building and he ends up stretching all the way down to the street, and like they never just want to pull back to show you the whole thing, so they just show you the actor hanging upside down in a very short, in a small shot. And then they also show like his feet or hands up at the top. And that's it. And it's like, it's so many cuts that they have to do to make him, they try to trick you into believing you're seeing it. And it's so offensive after watching The Incredibles. Because like the Elastigirl scenes are the coolest looking scenes in that whole movie because there's fluid movement. The camera is always moving. You know what I mean? And I think what was weird about this movie is there's almost no camera movement unless it's following a Human Torch fly. You know what I mean? Like every
with this
every
movie.
action scene is a sitting camera just sitting in one place, pointed at something, and do all your action right here in this scene. And that's it. And it's so weird to me because like this movie came out 5 years after Spider-Man. Spider-Man has way more movement going on in that movie. And I know that's kind of Sam Raimi's signature, but I was just really shocked to see that like I'm still trying to figure out why they thought the director of Barbershop was the right guy for Fantastic Four. Now, Barbershop is a great movie because you sit the camera down.
Barbershop made money.
And you point it at that one room filled with people. And it's really hilarious to listen to everybody say funny stuff. But like, that's not how you do Fantastic Four. You know what I mean? Like
that's 2005. It's a different time.
Dude.
But there's so many like camera techniques that you can use for something like Reed, like where you can force perspective and like make it look stretching, make it look like it's doing the thing without just sort of implying it by showing his head and shoulders and then showing like a CG fist over here.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to do it that they
all the budget went to Michael Chiklis.
No, it did not. It did not, though.
It seems like they asked for their money back.
You know, Michael Chiklis actually was the one that insisted that he needs to be in an actual suit.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be a CG character because he didn't believe it would work. Beg to differ? I don't know.
He's too round.
How he feels on that now.
Too round. That's
no, I think my problem with him is I can see the latex moving in a way that doesn't fit with what I kind of always thought a rock man would do. But like again, I mean everybody's got a different interpretation of that. Like I gotta say honestly, as much as I hated looking at him, Michael Chiklis was probably one of the best parts of the movie. Aside
he
from
has a good voice.
He's yeah.
His performance was good. He was definitely sort of the heart of the movie. My problem with his look was around the eyes. You could see people
sunken in.
Yeah,
you could see like human flesh in there, and it was like
the eyes, or whenever his neck would turn and the latex would just stretch, and it just didn't look like rock at all. And it was weird. But a fun fact, and I don't know like what year this was stated, but so his opinion could have changed. But the late Stan Lee did say at one point that Michael Chiklis's Thing is his favorite performance in any Marvel film ever. And this movie had come out after Spider-Man 1 and 2, so I'm just saying.
Nice.
I do believe that he embodied the heart of the Thing. He really truly did. Like I love listening to him. I didn't even think it sounded horrible when he said it's clobbering time, which was one of the dumbest catchphrases ever. It wasn't a great delivery, but that you would have been more upset if he never said it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't horrible. Upset. Yeah. Like
Doom feeds him the line.
He says it's time for whatever, and it's like nope.
Do you have that Thing action figure that was shown in the movie?
I did actually. I might still have it, but yeah, I thought that was funny to see that all the way back in 2005 they were still using Marvel Legends as props.
Series 2, I believe.
It was Series 2 of Marvel Legends, the Thing. Yeah. I may still have that figure. I might have sold it. It was a great figure though back in the day. But yeah, it did tickle my nerd brain for a second when I saw that.
I did enjoy how everyone is kind of they allude at the past history. Like everyone's ready to go. Like I feel like in the movie, like
you always like that when everybody's ready to go.
Like there's not, it's not fantastic where we get the 15-minute backstory about Ben and Reed on Yancey Street in the science fair and shit. Like no, we're in it. They know each other. They're smart. He's a pilot. Johnny's here. They're related. They used to love each other. Like it's a whole, like it's all. They just go. Like it felt very Marvel-y.
They set it up quick, and kind of throw the few bits of information you need to know about their relationships, and then they roll in.
Mm-hmm. They were very efficient with their character introductions, and I will never say you're wrong about that. I will say they took some liberties that made it more convenient for Dr. Doom to be involved, and in general, I think as much as Stan Lee praised Michael Chiklis, Stan Lee and just like a lot of other fans were actually quite disappointed in the portrayal of Dr. Doom. And it's not so much that it's like necessarily Julian McMahon's fault. It's just that they chose to like do weird shit with Dr. Doom.
I mean, he's evil businessman.
He's evil. No, see, that's the trick. Is he's not evil businessman.
Well, in the movie,
I know, but in the comics, Dr. Doom is evil Iron Man who also dabbles in the dark arts.
And that's what hates Reed.
He hates Reed.
Like,
yeah, but he doesn't. I would say he hates Reed pretty good in this movie. But it's just like. But I think it's just making him weird electric metal man that like doesn't really make sense. Like why are these things happening? And that was a plot convenience kind of choice that they made, right? Like it's like,
I mean,
it would be so much easier if he just went up there with them. So make him the guy who funds them. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
an easier justification, right? Like also to like, well, why would he put on this stupid metal suit, like, and then the cape and shit? Like,
why does Iron Man do it? Why does Iron Man do it? Iron Man does it all the time.
2005 was a different time, man.
I think it was 3 years before Iron Man. Is what you're saying?
Different time.
Yeah.
I would disagree because X-Men had been really responsible with their storytelling, right? they roped you in fast on making you give a shit about Magneto. Like,
yeah, it was but how much Colossus, how much Metal Man did we see in those movies?
I don't think that's what matters, though.
No,
I mean,
but I'm saying like you need to like. It's a weird look. Like you have the Thing, right? Who already looks funky. We're gonna have him fight the Metal Man.
I never understand why you split hairs at these points. Like, if your audience is already on board to watch the Fantastic Four, guess what? They want to see the Doctor Doom look like Doctor Doom.
He looked I'm saying he didn't look like Doctor Doom, but like to make him like the Metal Man, I get why they did it. Like
he wears a suit of armor out of respect for his ancestry. There you go, bro. That's it. Yeah. That was that easy. I wrote that line right now. Okay. Think about how much better I could have written that if I got paid millions of dollars. Like, I'm saying, like, that's why he wore the helmet.
First, you got a direct barbershop.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I wrote, or that's why he wore the helmet, right? It was an ancestral gift. Yeah, we understood that just from the contextual clues that they gave us. So, like, why not just put the whole suit in a display?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know why he needed to have generic spaceman powers in order to be a threat to them. His brain should have been the threat. Like, I never felt like he was an intellectual equal or a rival to Reed Richards. I felt like he was jealous of how smart Reed was, which is good. That is a Doctor Doom quality, but he should just be jealous because Reed is slightly smarter than him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and Reed also, it's not even that Reed is always smarter than him. It's that Reed has the support of this family unit. You know what I mean? Like, that he doesn't have. And so elements of that are there, but it just felt like, why did you need to make him weird? You know, like, and so I get that. I actually did like Julian McMahon in the movie. Like, I like Julian McMahon. He's from Nip Tuck. This was kind of his first big, movie experience.
Yeah, after that role.
Yeah, after Nip Tuck. And he comes back for the second one, and I think I remember him liking him more in the second one because
he's more doomy in the second
he does more Doom stuff, right? He tries to take on all the power of the Silver Surfer so he can conquer the world. And I'm like, yep, that's on par for Doctor Doom. That sounds about right. But what I'm curious, Ricky, because you said you liked this movie up until the transformation, like Fan Four Stick. So, do you like Fan Four Stick better than this movie?
If you chop it up by minutes, I think I like more minutes of Fan Four Stick than this movie.
I actually think it was a really easy decision for me on this one. What about you, Ian? Before I even say.
No, it's been probably about a year or so since I saw Fan Four Stick. But I remember feeling at the end of it frustrated because the movie felt like we were saying when we first kind of started the conversation about this, the Fantastic Four is kind of lighter in tone. It's more fun. It's a little more, they get weird. They have a little more silliness, and they have some family camaraderie. To me, it feels like there should be some joy, and Fan Four Stick felt at the end of the movie, I felt sort of joyless, and I felt the entire experience was a very sort of joyless, too serious.
Exercise, yeah.
I'll agree with that.
And I didn't feel like it had the like Fantastic Four kind of fun side to it. And I don't need Fantastic Four to get like silly, and be cheesy. But I need a fine line of like, there needs to be a little bit of humor, a little bit of levity, a little bit of lightheartedness to it. And I didn't feel any of that in Four Stick.
Yeah. The body horror stuff in Fan Four Stick is, I really enjoyed that part because it would be super traumatizing to have your body change in those types of ways. And I like the way they handled the scenes, and we talked about it before. But obviously that movie sits in that, emotional state for the whole movie. And that's where that thing ultimately fails, where the joy in this one is through and throughout. It's fun. They're not, I never get the sense, aside from Ben, that they're like burdened with these powers now. Like they seem to move on from them pretty quickly.
That's kind of what I love about this movie is like, Ben never moves on from it, like until it's time for him to finally move on. That is a contrived scene when he gets healed and then he's like, I'm just gonna go back and use this thing again, even though I don't understand how it's powered because Dr. Doom's not there to power it.
I would have called the
don't
cops.
You need to like operate the computer panel outside?
Yeah, I don't know how any of that worked at all. Like that was the giantest plot hole.
They didn't really need Ben for that final fight either. He just flipped the car and closed the water hole or a fire hose or whatever.
But they made it seem like he was the bodyguard. Yeah. No, but I do appreciate that they found a way to like ride that fine line of being fun and joyful, but also checking back in every now and then on how tragic this is for Ben. Because it is tragic to wake up in a horrible orange.
Ben's wife sucks, dude.
Dude,
his fiance, or whatever.
Dude, she just was like, I've been waiting for an excuse to do this. I'm out.
Dips out and then is on the bridge.
Yeah,
not even a word.
Isn't that
not even a word?
That woman is from Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
So convenient that she's on.
No, she was rough. She was rough, but it's at least like I think there was a lot of heart in his story, and that like he gets dumped by his wife. He goes and he tries to save the suicide guy on the bridge. Then and then he's trying to lament some more at the bar, and then he meets Alicia. Like he has like a full on arc where he finds a way to be happy with who he is.
Michael Chiklis was hot at that time. He gotta milk him for what he's worth.
No, and it's a really good arc. I feel like he got the best arc of everybody in the story. I think for me, I don't know what your least favorite thing about this movie is, but I'll start. Mine was Young Grufford as Reed Richards. I freaking hate that guy from beginning to end of that movie. Yeah. I just think he just sucks all the life out of every scene he's in. And my favorite scene is when he's frozen and dying because he couldn't talk.
You know what happens to rubber when it's cold?
I don't know, but you just asked me a minute ago what happens when it's superheated, and you never gave me the answer. And now you're asking me what happens when it's super chilled. No, Young Grufford was so bad, and I thought like for him to be supposedly he has to have this romantic connection with Jessica Alba's Sue Storm. Dude, there was zero chemistry going on.
No, God, yeah.
And what was hilarious is, there's a scene where they're out on the pier and they're talking. I found this out today and it made so much sense. During the pier conversation between Reed and Sue, dude, they weren't in the same country when they filmed that.
Are you serious?
They filmed it in separate locations and edited it together. He was in British Columbia at the time in Canada, and she was in New York City. And I'm like, well, there you go. Because that's easily one of the moments where you're supposed to feel the romantic connection. They weren't even acting off of each other. Like, that's such garbage. I couldn't handle it. But like, aside from that, I just had really a lot of problems with him. I just felt like he was this really of all the people in that movie, he was like the most inexperienced actor, and he was put in charge of being the patriarch of this family. And I just never really felt it.
But I think that's why they gave the Thing a bigger role, right? Like his presence.
But on the bridge, when they say who's the leader of this group, and Chris Evans tries to say me, and they're like, no, I don't believe that. And I'm like, do you not believe that, or were you paid to say I don't believe that? Like, because
they all turn to look at Reed like and it's like, are you sure? Because
are you sure? Like, I'm picking any of these other three. Like, and honestly, like I remember when I was younger and I watched this movie, I remember not liking Jessica Alba, but looking back on it now, I watched that movie and I'm like, I just feel sorry for Jessica Alba because I actually know she is a decent actress. Like, I loved her in Dark Angel, and it was really sad to the way they utilized her in this movie. Like, that girl her character got naked at least 3 times in that movie.
That's all. She's there to be pined over. She's there to be pined over by 2 guys that had some conflict between the dudes, and then to get naked and be awkward and have awkward jokes about it.
She gets naked on the
bridge for no reason.
On the bridge, Sue, you gotta get naked. And then like they all like
and then they all get across. They all get across. And she's like, I can't believe you made me do that. Yeah, neither can I. I'm not understanding what the point of that was.
He says something like, well, we got in, didn't we? Or something like that, where it's like, did you? Because I don't think she did anything to do that.
He made her believe that the only way they could get to Ben in the giant commotion through the crowd was her to get there naked.
And I don't even know what she was supposed to do then.
Exactly. But then the cut to the very next scene, they're all there and she's putting her clothes back on after being humiliated. And
are we just gonna cancel Reed Richards now? Like,
yeah, I kind of want to. I kind of want to, because then later on he walks in on her while she's taking a shower, or no, she's finishing her shower. Like, and again, she has to go naked. She's naked, covers herself, and goes invisible. And then there's like another time where the paparazzi is stalking her, and like she has to take off bras, panties, all this stuff. And I'm like,
run down
this
the street.
is so gross. Like, it's so gross that they're making her do this when like.
2005, man, the different time.
I think what bums me out is like she's like in the comics, she's the most powerful of all of them. Like she's ridiculous level power, and I just felt like they just simplified her so that she didn't overpower everybody else, and they just gave her fun romantic comedy kind of moments because they didn't know what else to do with her. But like I think the biggest thing that she made me feel this time around rewatching this was she made me feel like I never ever want to get mad at a character in a movie for not doing the hair right or something else, because oh man, you know, all the times I've ever said, why can't Zendaya just like have a red streak in her hair or something? No, I'm done with it. I know, I take it all back, because blonde Jessica Alba with blue eyes is so offensive looking. And even more so, I'm supposed to believe she's related to Chris Evans, who, by the way, is supposed to be blonde as well. Why the hell does he not have to dye his hair?
Right?
Like, that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have to dye his hair at all for that movie. And nobody bitched. Nobody bitched.
No.
I don't know. I was kind of grossed out at myself while watching her and just feeling like, man, yeah, maybe it's best we just let these actors like focus on the character and not force them to wear shitty wigs to finish the.
But it's
movies and stuff.
I mean, it's, again, I don't say it justifies it, but just it was a different time in movies, right? Like, I mean, we had 2 Johnny Storm action snowboard scene and motocross scenes, and
like, by the way, Maria Menounos worst nurse ever.
Right?
Worst nurse. Worse. Not only does she take his temperature, it's like 208, and then still lets him go. Then she meets him out on the slopes, and then
gets into his hot tub.
Yeah.
Like this potentially infectious man.
Yeah. Who, by the way, fell off a cliff. Like, what the hell? Where were you skiing, bro? You accidentally jumped off a cliff while you're snowboarding.
And somehow she got down there safely.
Yeah. Yeah. She's a good skier, apparently.
Apparently she took the smart way around.
It was a really weird, I when I hear you say it was a weird time, I feel like that is the excuse for the X Games in that movie. That is what I get from it was a weird time.
They would just let him go to the X Games, which so happens to be in New York
events.
Yeah, I had clear thoughts during moments of those. I was like, man, we're spending like 5 minutes on this snowboarding scene. Like, wow, what a waste of movie that could have been cool.
Yeah.
And it's again, it, like you said, it is a different time. That was how you had to sell things, I think, or at least how they believed you had to sell them. You have to appeal to the extreme crowd.
Lots of half naked women, and lots of X Games sports, and I don't know. I felt like they were just one totally tubular away from being like freaking Poochie the dog. I don't know. Yeah,
I was 11 when this movie came out, and I honestly can't recall if I don't remember having any toys from this movie, any interest aside from seeing it when it was in theaters. But it definitely didn't stick around like a Spider-Man did in my mind, or even like the Hulk. I was more about the Hulk than this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because they forgot to make you care about the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a lot of time making you care about the Thing.
Yeah.
And I think mission accomplished.
Except yeah, I mean, he was the hardest one, right, to tackle.
Yeah, but I think the only hard part about that is like he had this really beautiful arc of like finally getting the thing he always wanted, and then immediately just like, you know, I felt like there was just like 5-10 seconds missing of that decision to just make it a little bit more meaningful. Like, but you know, I know they couldn't show you anything because they couldn't explain how the hell you use the machine without anybody else there. Yeah. Whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I do understand his arc more than anybody else's. You know, like I think the other characters get better arcs in the second movie, if I remember correctly. That being said, Chris Evans is just fun to watch in both movies. I do remember that. But yeah, it was a bummer, you know, because like it felt like Jessica Alba was definitely not cast for her acting. They had very, very clear ideas of what they wanted to do with her and what they wanted to limit her to, and that's kind of a bummer. Yeah. And then Ioan Gruffudd, I'm like,
why
did you cast him for his acting? Because he sucks. So like, what?
Yeah, he was not good. He was definitely not good. He was very.
He's really bad, and I don't like hearing the stretching noise every time they do the special effects. Like, it's just a bad sound effect.
The only thing, it's funny because there's like really only one thing that I liked that the movie actually did, and it could be cheesy, but I felt like it earned it. Is it does when so in the very first scene they literally show up at Doom's building, and there's the big statue of him up front, and then it finishes with the final battle ends up with them turning him into a statue. So I like their foreshadowing and they're sort of like, we're dropping it on the ending on you right now type of thing. I always like that in movies when they kind of play, when you rewatch it and you go, oh, I see what you did there. I liked that. Aside from that, it's like the movie's serviceable is what I would describe it as. It accomplishes the job, but it's not like great at it.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I think serviceable is a fair assessment.
Mm-hmm. One little appreciation nugget is they gave a great story reason to why they need to put on those suits.
Dude,
so
I gotta say,
it put them in the suit more than what they would have been.
Dude, the suits were the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Those suits, I'm not gonna lie, and I know slight spoilers for anybody who still hasn't gone to see Doctor Strange. Their suits were better than John Krasinski's suit.
Yes.
Like, yes, those suits hold up after all this time. I was so impressed. It's such a simple
design, and I think it's a very basic suit, right? But it's complete. You have the gloves, you have the 4. It's uniform across all of them. Like it's a pretty tight suit.
It's the same reason the Incredible suit works so well visually. Is it's simplistic, and it accomplishes the purpose, which is the suit fits each person's skills or abilities, and it's in a way that it helps or benefits or mirrors, matches, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I do want to just nerd call out on what Ricky was saying is when he said they came up with a reason to wear those suits. That actually is from the comics too. Really? Making suits out of unstable molecules that are similar to what they were affected by is the whole reason they always wear those suits, because their suits are the only clothes that can adjust to whatever their powers are.
Plot suit.
Yeah, it's a plot suit for sure, but it's there was like, their weird sci-fi science behind it. So, but it was weird for me that was the only time they actually ever made you feel like Victor was smart. Is Victor made those suits for them in this movie, and I'm like, bro, Victor made those suits, and he's not helping you work on the cure. Like, also, Victor's infected with the same thing as you guys, and he's not working on the cure. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I get it.
No, he's not working on the cure. Reed is out there doing long division, trying to figure out how to stretching himself all over the place, staying up all night, trying to figure it out. And Doom is out there like, you know what? I got to kill this doctor.
Yeah.
I literally like my first victim is some random doctor.
I mean, he blasts a hole in some dude, right?
Yeah.
The guy that was taking over his company.
Yeah, the guy
that was before he does that, like his first murder is literally like, this doctor might tell people I have this thing, so I've got to put a bolt through his chest. Like,
I feel like that doctor,
like, I'm gonna actually science this thing, you know? Like,
yeah, I feel like that doctor took the radiation exposure more seriously than anybody else in that movie.
Anybody in the entire movie.
We gotta alert the CDC. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna kill you because you don't know, you're in the wrong movie, bro. You're taking this too seriously.
That dude was literally that, like, when you're talking about one of the smartest minds in the world, like as Reed Richards is supposed to be, and you're getting out-scienced by the doctor.
The general physician, yeah.
That's just rough. Right?
Well, to this movie's credit, they didn't bill Reed as the smartest man in the world, right? They billed him as a very smart man.
I mean, they kind of,
you know what? As somebody that, because I did extra homework and I watched the other movie, he may say that in the second film, but he does literally at one point refer to himself as one of the world's like smartest minds.
Oh yeah, when he's
I think he's talking to Andre Braugher's character,
the general.
Yeah, he's like, I was staying at home being a good little nerd, but he literally says something at one point about being the smartest.
But the whole reason they go out,
smartest minds.
Yeah, the whole reason they go out to space in the first place is because some scientific theory that he has that will revolutionize everything ambiguously. So the implication is that he's super smart because he's not an astronaut and he gets to go to space.
Yes. Exactly.
So, but also Sue's there too because she works for Victor, and Johnny's there because he's her brother.
Yeah. He's got some skills.
In fairness, I don't mind that quick, like, that part that you say, Ricky, like where they got there quick. I actually don't mind that because, like, the less they stick to the script from the comic, the better. Because, like, I'm pretty sure the only reason Johnny got to go on that space mission in the 60s was because he was Sue's brother and Sue was Reed's girlfriend. And, like, yeah. Well, it was weird.
What is your guys' preference? So in the comics, it's the space mission like we see in this movie, but in recent media, right, or in recent comics, it's the travel to Dimension X that gives them their powers. Like,
or the negative zone,
or whatever. Yeah. Do you guys have a preference on your preferred origin?
I like the multiversal stuff, just because it opens up so much more sci-fi wonkiness. I think it also saves you from a lot of plot holes too, right? Because like, then you don't have to explain, well, why did that cosmic radiation not affect other people, or you know what I mean? Like it's like
because nobody else was on the station.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gonna hit the Earth. You know what I mean? It's gonna potentially somehow affect other people somehow. You know what? I don't know. Like, you don't have to. But the point is, you don't have to explain those things. So I do like that that's my favorite thing about Fantastic is that they got to show you that the Fantastic Four go to other dimensions and go to other, like they go on crazy, trippy, like Jack Kirby inspired, like worlds, as opposed to just in space getting hit by the Phoenix Force, because that's what it looks like, so. But I think we've been going a while on this. I don't want to rip on it more. Like I feel like I did a lot, and I'm sorry I'm sorry to any fans of this movie. I mean, obviously we're comparing it to movies that have come out now, and are of a higher quality.
Movies that'll be coming out.
Yeah, and movies that'll be coming out. But like I will say, like I haven't watched Fantastic in a long time, and I don't really want to because that movie hurt me in a lot of ways because it made me believe that it was good for like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. Whereas this movie, it tonally was consistent all the way through. So if I can forgive it at the beginning, I can forgive it for the rest of it. You know what I mean? And so I actually was I rolling my eyes like every now and then at little nitpicky things? Yes, that's just my nature. You know, that's what I'm going to do. But like at the end of the day, I still like this movie. Like I like it better than a lot of older Marvel movies that we've watched. Yeah,
like I can't say I didn't have fun watching it.
Yeah, I had more fun watching this than a lot of the shit we watched last year. Like more fun than Howard the Duck, that's for sure.
Yes,
like that's somebody put that on the box. More fun than Howard the Duck.
No, I'd agree. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough that I was happy that I went back and rewatched it.
Yeah.
You know, would I have gone back and rewatched it, you know, on my own? Probably not until Ezra expressed some sort of interest in like wanting to see some Fantastic Four stuff. But like,
yeah, but
without sharing it, you know, with the kids, you know, it would be something I wouldn't have revisited. And having gone back, I do appreciate it, and I do, you know, again comparing it to Fanforstic, I do feel like it is the better delivery of the Fantastic Four.
Is it safe to say?
I agree with you, Ricky, on the body horror part. Mm-hmm. That is Fanforstic's strength, but I like the tone of this.
It's not the correct spirit of Fantastic
Four. So this is the definitive version of Fantastic Four.
Yes,
so far, unless you go watch the Roger Corman one. This is actually the second Fantastic Four movie already by this point. There have been 4 now. There's been 4 movies made, so they're all pretty bad in their own way. So I think Marvel has a really easy task ahead of them. As much as people say it's a hard task, I think they got a really low bar that they have to meet for this one. Obviously the best one is The Incredibles for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But we all do that.
The play for me, and it seems like they're doing it, is to pepper them in. Pepper in your Reed, pepper in your other ones.
Nah, you know. I mean, I don't think that they're peppering them in separately. Like, I don't know that we're gonna get all 4 of them separately in different movies.
I don't think you need to do all 4, but another pepper, another seasoning before we get the movie, I think wouldn't hurt.
I think
I don't need more.
I don't think it would hurt. I think you're right, Ricky. I don't think it would hurt.
But I want a Doctor Doom before we get.
Sure, that's part of the seasoning. He's the
glaze. I want a Doctor Doom that also found a way to like steal the Darkhold or something like that. You know what I mean? Like embrace the actual Doctor Doom, which is somebody who uses the mystic arts to defeat science. Because I think that's one of the most fun parts about the Marvel Universe is when you get magic versus science. Like, why did we never get Doctor Strange versus Iron Man? Like, why did that not actually ever happen? Like, that would have been super cool to see, you know, like, but it's okay. We still have, you know, more stories to tell. So I wanted to see Doctor Strange versus Reed Richards, and we didn't get that, you know, like, so I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to see that because, I want to see them mix in, you know, and I want to see nerds have that fight about who should win because of blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, sci-fi is sci-fi. It can do whatever it wants to do. And so I don't, you know, if they choose to make Dr. Doom a metal man, okay, I guess you can. I just don't necessarily agree.
2 for 2 in the Doom metal man.
Yeah, they like Doom metal men. Exactly. But in any case, I do think we got to get going. I'm glad we got to talk for a minute about what we want to see out of the next one. I think it's a low freaking bar. Just make them fun and make them smart and embrace more of the comic book than they were afraid to do in the previous movies.
Yeah,
right?
I think, you know, with Eternals and how much they really gave us some of Kirby's visuals, I think, and you know, with obviously Guardians and things setting the sort of stage for weird, like
Ragnarok too.
Ragnarok, and that's what I'm saying. Just like give us the Fantastic Four that gets weird. That's the thing that's going to be the strength of that particular group. I think is to get wild with it. Take me to places that make me say, "What is this wild adventure I'm on?" And I'm good. You know, that's all I need out of the 4.
Agreed. All right. Well, for reals now this time. It's time to wrap this up, true believers. Thank you to Ian and Ricky for nerding out with me today. we're going to be back in 2 weeks. We're going to take another break. We are not going to go watch Fan Four Stick next week. Sorry, that's just not happening. Maybe at a later time this year for sure. But we're going to be back in 2 weeks to discuss the latest superhero news, as always, and the new season premiere of The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
it's back in 2 weeks, everybody.
Sweet.
And thanks to our patrons for supporting our growth, and to our audience for tuning in. Ricky, if they had fun, what can they do?
Like and subscribe, patreon.com. Wait, I said that wrong, right?
I mean, it wasn't great.
Like and subscribe at YouTube, and then visit us at patreons.com. Smash that. This is Frank's job. You got
to smash that like button and clobber the subscribe button like the thing would.
Clobber the subscribe button like the thing
clobber
would.
in time. And check us out on Patreon for our after show, which is going to start any moment now. We're running I guess there's no real spec time for that one, but it's going to start moments from now. The soapbox. I think see you next time on Den Excelsior, True Believers.
Bye.